two houses. Close your eyes now, dear listener, and let me carry you away to a place where moonlight dances on ancient cobblestones, where the warm Italian breeze whispers secrets through narrow streets. In fair Verona, a city painted in shades of amber and rose, where church bells chime softly in the distance, there lived two families, two houses, both alike in dignity, both carrying the weight of old stories. Old stories. Picture, if you will, the Montagues and the Capulets, their names floating on the evening air like petals from a garden. These ancient families, separated by a grudge so old, so very old, that even the stones of Verona had forgotten how it began. But listen closely now, for in this sleepy, dreaming city, where shadows grow long and gentle, something beautiful was about to bloom. A pair of star-crossed lovers, their hearts destined to find each other, like two moths drawn to the same flickering candlelight. Their love, their love would be so pure, so tender, that it would melt even the coldest hearts. And though their story holds sadness like rain on window glass, it also holds the most beautiful kind of magic. So rest now, sweet dreamer, let your breathing slow in and out as we prepare to enter this world of balconies and secret gardens, of whispered promises and gentle kisses. The stage is set. The stars are watching. And somewhere in the distance, two young hearts are about to discover what it means to love completely, beautifully, eternally. Sleep now and dream of Verona. Act 1. Our story begins on a hot morning in the streets of Verona. The Capulet servants swagger through the marketplace when they encounter the Montague men. Samson bites his thumb, an insult in those days, and soon swords are drawn. The ancient feud erupts once more. Benvolio tries to keep peace, but fiery Tybalt arrives, eager for a fight. The Prince of Verona himself appears, his voice booming through the square. No more fighting, he declares. Next time, the penalty is death. Meanwhile, young Romeo Montague wanders, heartbroken and melancholy. He loves fair Rosaline, but she does not return his affection. His cousin Benvolio finds him sighing among the trees. Forget her, Benvolio advises. Find another love. Across the city, Count Paris visits old Capulet, asking for his daughter's hand. Juliet is but 13, Capulet says. Wait 2 years, but come to my feast tonight. See if she catches your fancy. The servant cannot read the guest list and asks Romeo for help, unknowingly inviting the Montagues to their enemy's celebration. Juliet speaks with her mother and nurse about marriage, about Paris. The nurse chatters fondly, remembering Juliet as a baby. Lady Capulet paints marriage in glowing terms. That evening, Romeo reluctantly joins his friends. Mercutio spins tales of Queen Mab, the fairy who brings dreams. Romeo feels uneasy, sensing something fateful approaches. At the Capulet feast, through the crowd, Romeo sees her, Juliet, and instantly Rosaline is forgotten. She teaches torches to burn bright, he whispers. They meet, they speak. Their words form a perfect sonnet, and they kiss once, twice, before the nurse calls Juliet away. Only then do they learn each other's names. Romeo, Juliet, a Capulet. Their hearts sink, for they have fallen in love with their enemy. And so ends our first act, with love blooming in the most impossible place. Rest now and dream of that first perfect kiss. Act 2. After the feast. Romeo cannot bear to go home. His heart pulls him back toward the Capulet house. He scales the orchard wall and hides among the shadows. Benvolio and Mercutio search the streets, calling his name, making jokes about his love sickness. Romeo, madman, passion, lover, they cry. But Romeo remains hidden, drawn by something stronger than friendship. And then a light appears high above in a window. It is Juliet stepping onto her balcony, unaware that her beloved listens below. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? She sighs to the night air. Deny thy father and refuse thy name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Romeo can contain himself no longer. He steps from the shadows. Call me but love, he whispers, and I'll be new baptized. They speak of love, of the danger, of the impossibility of their situation. Yet their hearts have chosen, and Juliet makes a bold proposal. If thy love be honorable, and thy purpose marriage, Send me word tomorrow, and I will follow thee throughout the world. Dot. At dawn, Romeo hurries to Friar Lawrence. The holy man tends his herbs, surprised to see Romeo awake so early. Young men's love lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes, the friar chides. But when Romeo explains, the friar agrees to help, hoping this union might heal the ancient wound between the families. Separate. Separate. Thank you. Meanwhile, Mercutio and Benvolio worry about Romeo. Tybalt has sent a challenge, a letter demanding a duel. When Romeo appears, his spirits lifted, his wit restored. They hardly recognize this transformed young man. The nurse arrives, seeking Romeo. He tells her the plan. Juliet must come to Friar Lawrence's cell that very afternoon for the wedding ceremony. The nurse hurries back, her old legs carrying news of joy. But first, she teases poor Juliet, delaying the news, complaining of her aching bones, her breathlessness, until finally she reveals Romeo's message. That afternoon, in the quiet of the holy cell, Romeo and Juliet meet. Friar Lawrence speaks the sacred words, binding their hands, blessing their love. So smile the heavens upon this holy act, he prays. And so, in secret, in love, in hope, Romeo Montague and Juliet Capulet become husband and wife, their love now sanctified, through which the world knows nothing of their joy. Rest now and dream of that sacred moment when two hearts became one beneath heaven's gentle blessing. Act 3. The afternoon sun burns hot over Verona's streets. Mercutio and Benvolio walk, seeking shade. The day is hot, Benvolio warns, and the Capulets abroad. If we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. But fate has other plans. Tybalt appears, his hand upon his sword, searching for Romeo. Here comes my man, he declares, when Romeo arrives, fresh from his secret wedding. Tybalt, I love thee, Romeo says, confusing everyone. He cannot fight his new kinsman, his wife's beloved cousin. But Tybalt sees only cowardice and insult. Mercutio cannot bear Romeo's gentle words. A plague on both your houses, he cries, and draws his sword. Romeo tries to part them, but under his arm, Tybalt's blade finds its mark. Mercutio falls, making jokes even as he dies. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. The laughter dies, and rage fills Romeo's heart. Now Romeo's sword sings, and Tybalt falls. The prince arrives, and Romeo's fate is sealed. Let Romeo hence in haste, else, when he is found, that hour is his last. In her chamber, Juliet waits, eager for night and her new husband's embrace. But the nurse brings terrible news. Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. At first, Juliet rails against Romeo, her cousin's killer. But then her heart remembers. Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Her loyalty belongs to love. Romeo hides in Friar Lawrence's cell, weeping. Banishment is death, he cries. Every cat and dog and little mouse may look on Juliet, but Romeo may not. The friar offers counsel and a plan. Romeo shall spend one night with his bride, then flee to Mantua until peace can be made and the marriage revealed. But Lord Capulet, grieving for Tybalt, decides to cheer his daughter. He promises Paris Juliet's hand in marriage 3 days hence, not knowing she is already wed. At dawn, Romeo and Juliet cling together. Is that the lark or nightingale they hear? It is the lark, Juliet finally admits. You must go. When her parents arrive with news of the wedding, Juliet refuses. Her father's rage is terrible. Hang thee, young baggage, he shouts, threatening to disown her. Even the nurse, Juliet's dearest friend, counsels her to marry Paris. I think you are happy in this second match. Alone, abandoned, Juliet stands, her heart breaking, but her resolve firm. She will find another way or die in the attempt. And so our lovers part as day breaks, not knowing if they will ever meet again. Rest now and hold their love close to your heart. Act 4. In Friar Lawrence's quiet cell, Count Paris makes arrangements for his wedding to Juliet. My lord, we must entreat the time alone, the friar says, sensing the delicate situation. Juliet arrives and speaks with Paris, her words double-edged. I will confess to you that I love him, she says, meaning Romeo, though Paris believes she speaks of him. When Paris leaves, Juliet falls to her knees. Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me, past hope, past cure, past help. She draws a knife. God joined my heart and Romeo's, and this same hand shall take them both away. But the friar stays her hand. Hold, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope. He presents a small vial containing a powerful sleeping potion. Take thou this vial, and this distilled liquor drink thou off. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The plan unfolds. Juliet will appear dead, be placed in the ancient tomb. Romeo will receive word and be there when she awakens. Together they will flee to Mantua and live as husband and wife. Juliet returns home, transformed. "Pardon, I beseech you," she tells her father. "I will marry Paris according to your will." Her father rejoices and moves the wedding to the very next day. That night, Juliet sits alone, her mother and nurse dismissed. The vial trembles in her hand. What if this mixture do not work at all? What if the friar has given me poison? Her imagination runs wild. What if she wakes too early alone in the tomb with Tybalt's rotting corpse? Alack, alack, is it not like that I should wake before Romeo comes? But love conquers fear. "Romeo, Romeo, Romeo," she cries. "Here's drink. I drink to thee." The potion takes hold, and she falls, still as death, across her bed. Below, the household bustles, preparing for the wedding. Capulet himself stays awake, directing servants. Make haste, he calls, never knowing his daughter lies as cold as winter. Morning comes. The nurse enters to wake the bride. "Why, lamb? Why, lady? Fie, you slug abed!" But Juliet does not stir. "Alas, alas! Help, help! My lady's dead!" The family gathers, grief-stricken. Death that hath ta'en her hence to make me wail ties up my tongue and will not let me speak. Lord Capulet mourns. Friar Lawrence arrives to conduct the ceremony. Come, is the bride ready to go to church? But instead of wedding flowers, they prepare rosemary for the funeral. The wedding feast becomes a funeral. Joy turns to mourning. And in the tomb, Juliet sleeps, waiting for Romeo, who knows nothing of this desperate plan. And so, our heroine lies between life and death, between hope and despair. Rest now and trust that love will find a way, even in the darkness. Act 5. In Mantua, Romeo sleeps and dreams. My lady came and found me dead, and breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. But dreams give way to cruel reality. His man Balthazar arrives, dusty from the road. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. Romeo's world collapses. Is it e'en so? Then I defy you, stars! He seeks an apothecary, poor and desperate, a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins. Meanwhile, Friar John returns to Friar Lawrence. I could not send the letter, nor get a messenger. The searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors. The letter never reached Romeo. Friar Lawrence rushes to reach the tomb before Juliet awakens, alone, afraid, in that dark place of death. At the Capulet tomb, Paris arrives first to mourn his lost bride. He scatters flowers and speaks to the stone when Romeo appears, bearing tools to break the vault. This is that banished, haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin. Paris challenges Romeo. Good, gentle youth, tempt not desperate man. Romeo pleads, but Paris will not yield. They fight, and Paris falls. Romeo carries his body into the tomb. Death, lie thou there, by a dead man interred. Romeo gazes upon Juliet, still beautiful, still warm. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips. Death, that hath sucked the honey of thy breath, hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. He speaks to her sleeping form, of love, of regret, of joining her in death. Here's to my love. He drinks the poison, and with a final kiss, thus with a kiss I die. Friar Lawrence arrives. Too late. He finds Romeo dead. And just then, Juliet stirs. Oh, comfortable friar, where is my lord? Where's my Romeo? The friar tries to lead her away, but she sees Romeo, cold and still. What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand. Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. She takes his dagger. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. There rust and let me die. With Romeo's blade, she joins her beloved in eternal sleep. The prince arrives with both families. Friar Lawrence tells the tale of secret marriage, of desperate plans, of love destroyed by ancient hate. Faced with their children's bodies, Capulet and Montague finally end their feud. Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. They vow to raise golden statues to their children's love. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. The prince speaks as dawn breaks over fair Verona, where love conquered hate through sacrifice. And so ends our tale of star-crossed lovers, whose love was stronger than death itself. Rest now and dream of love eternal and true. Close your eyes and sleep in peace.